Today we're going to talk about the first agricultural revolution. Initially, people survived in the world as hunters and gatherers. This started from about 2 million years ago to about 12,000 years ago. So anything beyond hunting and gathering is actually relatively new when you look at the course of history. Hunters and gatherers, they lived in small groups called bands. These groups were limited in size by the amount of food they could find. At this point in time, there was no material culture because they had to carry everything as they were following sources of food, so they didn't want to gather any belongings or keep anything because the more they had to carry. So material culture really wasn't there at this point in time. And the role of every person in the band was basically to find food. This way of living and surviving would last for 2 million years until we come to the first agricultural revolution. Agriculture began with the domestication of animals and the planting of seeds for crops. Originally, it was thought that the agricultural revolution started in one area and grew from there, but now we know, or we believe, that it started in actually 5 independent areas and grew out from these 5 independent locations that you can see on this map. So if we see right here, there's 1, 2 is in Africa, another in the Middle East, Asia, and then over here in the area of New Zealand. So those are the 5 areas that we think the agricultural areas developed, and then you can see that they're moving out from. And if you also look on this map, you can see some of the first crops that were planted and other crops that came in later. So many groups still continued to migrate while others started to settle for either all of or a portion of the year. We're starting to see more of a development of material goods and specialization in roles within the groups. Agriculture created more food, allowing for population growth. And this led to the development of our villages and towns. People began to know where these villages and towns were located, allowing for trade and additional specialization in jobs not related to food. So we have the development of people making pottery, making baskets, cloth, tools, increasing our material culture as people begin to have possessions, including tools and items for their homes. Additionally, people are able to share knowledge and information across various villages. We have the development of ruling classes during this time, and conflict, warfare, and crime increases with the buildup of food and wealth, and some villages and towns begin to dominate others, leading to more complex cultures. So both kind of that development of agriculture and the villages and towns are taking place during this Neolithic era, so some 12,000 to 5,000 years ago. So now we're going to move into what happens after. We see those regional empires develop, so our kingdoms, our empires, leading us into the Bronze Age. So with the development of agriculture, we're able to evolve the ability to settle in one place, specialize in various professions and trade products, and knowledge with others. We'll move into this Bronze Age where we see the development of regional powers. The second agricultural revolution actually will not occur until approximately 1650, so over 3,000 years after the first agricultural revolution had actually ended.